conclusion inevitable.
It was a jump to conclusions, Matt.
My conclusion was that this idea was not a practical deterrent.
My only conclusion can be that it was a Sith Lord.
In conclusion.
Hello there, folks. Welcome back to In Conclusion, the only movie podcast that really loses it in the end. I'm Dan O'Keefe, and joining me as always is Anna Otto. How are you, Anna?
Dan, I'm going to open by being as basic as I usually am and as disgusting as I usually am by saying this. I didn't realize James McAvoy was hot until this movie. And let me explain to you why. If you do a quick Goog, everyone, Goog with me as you listen.
I'm doing it.
James McAvoy.
Uh-huh.
Okay, we're searching, and we go look at his images, not his headshot, but do you see that photo from the set of Glass where he's wearing his Hedwig sweatpants and a black shirt and some Jordans and some sunglasses?
I want this man to wed and bed me.
I also want that because I saw this. I did a quick Goog because, I was like, Gage was like, he's Scottish. I was like, I didn't know. And then I was just Googing, also he's 5'7". So like, again, are we surprised? I looked at him and I went, that's not who I'm looking at on the screen right now. But it is. We can talk about that more later if you want. I just wanted to open by saying, Mom, don't listen to this. I would let him step on my throat and then thank him.
Oh my Lord. You need to calm down.
I need to go outside and touch some grass.
Yeah.
I'll be right back. Poor Gage, he's listening to this. Every single time he just goes, you thirst over everyone but me. And then I have to say, that's because when I thirst over you, you say, gross, go away. So
when I thirst over you, you say, I am salt.
Literally, he's like, go away. You're foul.
So, the movie that we're talking about today is the third in the East Train 177 something or other trilogy.
Yep, that's the title. Glass.
Directed, written, and produced by M. Night Shyamalan, also produced by Jason Blum of Blumhouse.
Oh my God, all this time I thought his last name was Bloom, but just didn't have an E on the end.
No.
I thought it was pronounced Bloomhouse.
No, it's Blumhouse.
Are you saying I'm walking around sounding like a fool,
Yes.
Dan? Wouldn't be the first time, isn't going to be the last time. That's fine.
Starring James McAvoy, Bruce Willis, Anya Taylor-Joy, Sarah Paulson, Samuel L. Jackson, and the star of the movie, M. Night Shyamalan, with
King.
Cinematography by Mike Giulakis.
I can't help you there. I'm terrible with names.
He also did the cinematography for Split.
And it was beautiful.
And
if I may
Old,
say.
the brand new M. Night Shyamalan movie. Did you see it?
No, but I am so excited to see it, Dan. You have no idea. So we went and saw Fast 9 a couple weeks ago, and they showed a preview for Old,
Yes.
and I was absolutely gasping in my seat. I was like, mark your calendars, Gage. We're coming back. I don't know when, but we're coming back because I want to see that. Alex Wolff was really leaving his all on that screen. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, he was bearing it all, too.
No, thank you. Please go back.
My entire Twitter feed this past week and a half has just been people making jokes about the beach that makes you old. It's been fantastic.
Well, I don't really go on Twitter, but I want those jokes. I mean, maybe if I went on that beach, I'd be able to purchase alcohol without getting carded. Or, an R-rated movie from Walmart.
Do they card you at Walmart for R-rated movies?
Last time it was I think they're supposed to card everyone, but last time we went, I wasn't even the one who was paying. I think Gage was paying, but we were at a self-checkout at Walmart. We were doing like one of those Walmart date nights where you just pick a movie out of the bin and stuff. Mm-hmm. And I had selected acclaimed movie, Hustlers.
With J-Lo.
Which is an R-rated.
Yes.
Yes. And I was ringing it up, And they came over, and the lady looked at Gage, and then she looked at me and goes, "May I see your ID?" And then Gage goes, "Do you need to see mine too?" She goes, "No." And I was like, oh. We're the same age, but you wouldn't know it, apparently. It's because he can grow a beard, and I'm stuck like this.
Yeah, I have the opposite problem of you. I've never been carded. I never get carded. People see me, and they're like, huh, look at that well-put-together 37-year-old man.
True, but at least Anna doesn't look underage either, though.
No, that'd be weird.
It's not that weird,
It's
Dan.
really weird.
Some of us can't help it.
Your relationship is odd and weird.
We're only 4 months apart.
But your luck is.
Yeah, what can I say? It's me, a youth.
So
they say, she! Anyway.
Oh my gosh. Glass was a co-production of Universal and Disney because
What?
Unbreakable was a Disney movie, Buena Vista, and then Split was Universal. So
Disney would not have touched Split with a 10-foot pole.
I know,
Are you kidding me?
but they were fine with putting the cameo at the end of it, and apparently there were no issues with the production and release of this. Universal released it in the U.S. and then Disney internationally.
Well, maybe they should try that for... I know it's like Sony and Disney, but can they try that for Spider-Man, please? It's like really exhausting me.
Yeah, cast James McAvoy as Spider-Man, and then we'll be good. He already climbs walls.
No. Yeah, like a monkey.
Yeah.
Like a spider monkey. Because they also have sticky hands. That's not true. He was probably... Actually, I thought about this, Dan. He climbs walls like a frog.
Okay. I see it. Released on January 18th, 2019, with a budget of $20 million. It made $247 million at the box office. On Rotten Tomatoes, it has a 37% approval rating, with the critical consensus saying, Glass displays a few glimmers of M. Night Shyamalan at his twisty world-building best, but ultimately disappoints as the conclusion to the writer-director's long gestating trilogy. I don't know if it was necessary to use the word gestating in that review. You seem like you disagree.
I like this one. Split's my favorite still. I know, controversial.
Not controversial. Split's the best.
No, I know. I'm just saying because,
it is controversial to a very small, very vocal group of people.
Okay. Well, I like Split the best. And I'm not just saying that after last night's revelations. I said that last time as well. I think, for me personally, the reason why it's the best, and a little bit of this too, but because James McAvoy's talents are so well showcased in that movie, and he really makes it. I think everybody else that's in it, I mean, like Anya Taylor-Joy is a wonderful actress, but that movie's not really about her or her performance.
No, not at all.
And I feel like similar to this one, you do get some tastes and you see a few more of the characters, but again, I would argue that James McAvoy's character steals the show.
I agree. I will wait to reveal my ranking of the 3 films until the end. But I liked this movie too. I thought it was enjoyable. I thought it kind of lost itself at the end, but I did like the ending.
Okay.
Which is what I saw a lot of people did not like.
Yeah. I don't really know how I feel about the ending, to be entirely honest with you. I don't feel like I have a very strong opinion on it. I mean, in this house, we love Sarah Paulson, but that's besides the point. I told Gage, I think part of the reason why Split stands out the most for me, and then Unbreakable, and then... this is not my favorite order for them. This is just how I remember them. I think part of the reason why Glass gets so lost in the mix is because I confuse American Horror Story Asylum with this movie sometimes. Just, as one does.
Yeah. I've never seen it, so I also confuse it.
Well, they both take place in a hospital.
I gathered
Sarah
that
Paulson's
from the title.
there. Yeah.
I get this in Bates Motel confused.
Not Bates Motel.
That's one!
Ah.
Soon I'm just going to start... I've just been baiting you into saying not whatever.
I can tell.
Baiting. Batesing.
Bates Motel.
Part of the reason that I don't think that the ending works very well is because of the twist. This is the dumbest twist. of the three.
Correct. Correct.
By far, which is the negative of it for me. Like the writing of the movie is not, the exposition is very exposition-y, but I can get over that. James McAvoy is acting his little heart out.
He is. He's leaving it all.
Some might say leaving more than all, too much, but I'm still into it. But just to spoil the twist, if you're listening to this, you will get the twist anyway, that there's been this secret organization keeping superheroes away from people for thousands of years. Dumb. Silly dumb. In my mind, it makes sense. Still dumb.
I honestly forgot what the ending of this movie was when we were watching it, and then as soon as it got revealed, I was like, ugh. I just want more from it. Like, I remembered how it ended, but I also didn't remember how we got to that ending. You know what I mean? Yeah.
So anyway, the movie starts out, and guess what?
What?
Bruce Willis is back, baby.
He's back and balder than ever.
Back, balded, and bearder than ever.
And you would think that at this point, he would have a different costume.
Instead of a rain poncho.
But, yeah. But, you know what? I'm not the costume designer, so...
So he is out, he is fighting crime, he is saving delinquents from posting Salt Bay fighting videos on YouTube.
Please, no. The dated memes.
A reference that has only grown like a fine wine in taste. I listened to a podcast, and randomly one of the hosts would just mention Salt Bay, and they'll be like, you don't know you keep saying that, you don't know what that is.
I'm doing the pose right now. You can't see it, but I'm doing it. If you know, you know. Am I right?
And Bruce Willis, his alter ego is the Overseer.
Please, it's Mr. Tiptoe or whatever. I love that one. Silent but deadly. That's what I would have called him.
Yeah, and he runs a home security company with his son, played by the same actor from the first movie.
Who I don't think is really an actor anymore, except for these two movies.
He acted in stuff up until he was a teenager, and then he stopped acting, and then he was back in this.
Yeah, I feel like he was like doing his regular job, and M. Night Shyamalan called him, and he's like, I got nothing else going on. Why not? I can make a quick millie.
Pennsylvania for 3 weeks? I can do it.
Let's do it.
There's no way he got paid $1 million for this. The budget was $20 million. You have James McAvoy, Bruce Willis, and Samuel L. Jackson, who take up,
we're all big names.
$15 million of the budget?
Yeah, probably. He got paid, like, free lunch.
Yeah.
$200 in free lunch.
Oh, sign me up.
Wow. No, if that craft services table is looking good, I'm there, you know?
Honestly.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't need pay. I need food.
Ah, the Adult Swim craft services table. Let's all remember. Slapped. Thank you.
You were allowed to eat from it?
Was I not supposed to? Because I definitely did.
Well, I know that for like extras aren't allowed to eat from it.
Oh, no, they had us in Yeah, they were like, we brought you food. Eat whatever you want. And I was like, absolutely I will. Because they kept us there literally all day.
Okay.
They fed us breakfast and lunch. And then snacks.
Good for Joe Pera and Adult Swim.
I mean, we also touched... Never forget, I was heavily featured on that episode. I know.
Hollywood star Anna Otto.
Thank you. Don't forget who you're talking to, Dan.
Star of 3 a.m. television, Anna Otto. Some would say that running away is easy. It's the leaving that's hard, according to that TikTok trend of making Adult Swim intros.
Oh my God. I was going to say, it's me, your sleep paralysis demon.
So, Bruce Willis and his son have been hunting the Horde, the Beast, Kevin Wendell Crumb, sexy, sexy, sexy James McAvoy.
For what? His thighs are thicker than a Snicker. You know what I'm saying?
For 3 weeks. It's been 3 weeks since the events of Split.
Really?
Yeah. They say that, they brush over that in the beginning, but Split happened 3 weeks ago. And in that time, Anya Taylor-Joy has gotten her stepfather arrested. She is with a nice foster family who treat her well by all appearances.
There's a lot of kids there, but it seems like a good, happy, healthy place to be.
It does. And we also learn that Bruce Willis's wife has left him and died. There's no Robin Wright
I forgot
in this
about
movie.
that for a second, and it made me sad.
I just think that they couldn't get Robin Wright for it.
Oh yeah,
That's 100%
yeah.
what happened.
I definitely think she said no. Go get someone and put him in a brown wig and call it a day.
They probably wanted her to take a pay cut, and she was like, no.
She wouldn't have had any lines.
I know. There's
Where does she fit in here? She doesn't.
not at all.
No offense. Full offense.
And so then we flash over and we see James McAvoy, sexy James McAvoy. He kidnapped a group of cheerleaders, gonna do the same thing. Yum, eat them up, having them hostage.
Disgusting.
Yeah.
The sound effects. We had, so because our air conditioning is on, we keep the captions on.
Yeah.
And at one point it was like, the captions literally were like, blood gurgling, flesh ripping, chomping. I was like, oh, I had to look away. I was like, this is disgusting.
Thigh muscles rippling.
No.
All of it.
Looks away. Except keeps one eye open.
Squints.
Looks between fingers.
Bruce Willis, he's walking down the street. He's brushing past people, trying to get a read flashback on them. And he brushes past
My sweet baby Hedwig.
Hedwig.
My baby. I know he's technically part of the Horde, but he's my favorite, and he's so cute. The line where he's like, Drake's my main man now.
I love
I
that.
was still listening.
So funny.
Yeah. Well, Gage was making fun of me because I've definitely become a relapse Barb. So when he's like, I like Nicki Minaj, but after she and Drake broke up, I could
Only like one of
had
them.
to choose one. Yeah. Gage was like, this is a Drake house. And I was like, absolutely not.
So he brushes into him and he sees that, he just killed the cheerleaders and was eating them. And he was talking to the bodies. So that night, he becomes the beast again. What?
I don't think he'd eaten them yet.
Not
think
yet.
he
He's just
knocked
talking to
them
the
out.
bodies.
Yeah.
Yeah. That night, James McAvoy becomes the beast again. And he attacks a group of homeless people. And Bruce Willis, he becomes the overseer. He puts on his costume of the rain poncho he took from the stadium.
Mr. Tiptoe.
And he breaks out the girls. He gets attacked by the beast. And he injures the two of them, knocks them both out through a window. And they fight, and they're stopped by police and a mysterious woman.
The Beast tried to use his signature move, the squish,
Yes, he
the
did.
bone cracker, but it wasn't going to work because,
Bruce Willis is thick.
unbreakable. He is thick. But that was one of the moments where I went, wow, James McAvoy really is a short man, huh?
Yeah.
That was the moment that really started all of this off.
Because how tall is Bruce Willis, do you think?
I'm going to say he is 5'10" or 5'11". That's my guess.
Well, guess what? He's 6 feet tall.
Oh, I was close.
Yeah. And James McAvoy, he's 5'7".
Perfect. Just the way I like him.
Yeah, so they are surrounded by the cops and a mysterious woman. This mysterious woman, it's Sarah Paulson. That can only mean one thing.
Gorgeous.
The villain's here!
Ba-ba-bum. Gorgeous queen.
Yes. And she tries to get them to give themselves up to avoid hurting the officers and everything. The Beast, Kevin, what have you, James McAvoy, confused by all the flashing lights and everything, he gets stunned. And they get arrested and brought to Raven Hill Memorial Institution, which RHMI, which if you say it fast, is Hrimi, which doesn't mean anything.
Dan, I really was following you there. Did you see the little gears turning
I
in
did.
my
You
eyes?
were really
You see-
thinking. You're like, where's he going?
I was.
with
I was
this?
like, what does it spell? I was like, does it spell out Bruce Willis? Like, does it spell M. Night Shyamalan? What's going on?
Yeah, RHMI. MNIGHTSHY.
I was following. I was following. But this is, I'm sorry for dissecting solely James McAvoy's character, but no, full offense.
I'm sorry. He's the interesting part of the movie.
Yes, he is. And this is where we start to get to see some of his other
Personalities.
because right as they're walking in, they're walking with this light trailing behind them because they don't want him to turn into a quote-unquote undesirable.
Mm-hmm.
And, I mean, Hedwig makes a lot more appearances in this one, which... my fave. He's just so funny. He keeps the movie light because he's 9.
Yeah. Although it does make a very sad moment at the end.
Oh, don't even. I literally am not. I'm refusing to talk about it. Okay, thanks. I like being 9. Me crying myself to sleep. I don't know what it is. I don't love children. Sorry, children. But, like, every once in a while, and I know he's not a real kid.
To them.
I don't know. I just felt like I should. But every once in a while, I meet a kid, or I see a kid on, like, a TV show, and I'm like, that is the cutest frickin' child I've ever seen in my life. Maybe I do want a kid. I don't know what's going on. Like, and I know he's, like, an adult pretending to be a child, but he's evoking those feelings for me, and I don't like it. But I do like it.
What, you don't want a 9-year-old that looks like a 30-something James McAvoy ripped to shreds?
No, I only want James McAvoy. Full stop.
Okay.
Thank you.
So they are locked in individual cells that are designed to keep them from escaping. Bruce Willis is equipped with a bunch of water. James McAvoy, he's got those flashing lights that changes things. Bruce Willis's arch enemy would be Aquaman.
I know. I shouldn't laugh, but like, LOL.
I think Bruce Willis's arch enemy would be Effort. Hot take.
Hot take. Me choking.
And also at the institution, Mr. Glass.
Mr. Glass.
But he's sedated and he's basically just zonked out for half of the movie.
I'm gonna also make a hot take. Samuel L. Jackson looks weird with hair. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. That's it.
Not only is he zonked out, he later gets lobotomized.
Oh, God. Yeah, that... Lobotomies are just horrifying.
Yes. I listened to a podcast about the history of them. Terrifying.
Is it what I think it is?
The last podcast ones?
Yeah, I listened to that one, too. It is terrifying. You're correct.
Ice pick lobotomies. Mm-hmm. So the reason that they're held in this institution is because that Sarah Paulson, she is saying that they all have delusions of grandeur. They don't have any superpowers. They don't have anything. They just think that they have superpowers. They're nothing more than normal people. All their stuff can be explained away.
She's gaslighting. Gage was singing Gaslighter by the Chicks the whole time. Mostly because I really like that song, but also because now whenever somebody gaslights someone on a TV show, we sing it.
Gaslight, gatekeep, girl boss. That's her.
Whoa. The 3 Gs.
Yeah, the COVID vaccine gives you 5 Gs while she gives you 3.
This is like how I mentioned to Gage that Hedwig, again, back to my boy, is a girl's name traditionally, and he accused me of gatekeeping the name Hedwig, so that's where we're at.
Hedwig is an owl's name, traditionally.
Dan, I'm surprised at you. There's a Saint Hedwig.
I know that.
Okay, I wanted to make sure. And she's a lady. And Hedwig the Owl's a girl, I think. You know what? In this day and age...
Who can tell anymore?
Oh, I was going to say it doesn't matter, but okay. We're going to just rile everybody up, Dan.
Also, somehow, Mr. Glass's mother is still alive, played by an actress who's 5 years younger than Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah, she looks way too young to be his mom. And I was like, I know Mr. Glass has been keeping his mom in, like, rubies and pearls because she's a queen and her style is immaculate. But that, like, she looks more like his sister than she does his mom.
Yeah. Sarah Paulson, she tries to convince her. She tries to convince the son. She tries to convince Anya Taylor-Joy that all these are delusions of grandeur. They don't believe her. They saw what they can do. Come on. She calls Bruce Willis and James McAvoy into a room to test their psyches. And Mr. Glass is wheeled in with them. And they have a meeting and they talk about Kevin's past. They talk about how David was nearly drowned. And then she tests the psyche of Mr. Glass. And we see a flashback to him breaking all his bones at a carnival ride.
Stop. I love Tilt-A-Whirls. This scene was so sad for me because of how much I love Tilt-A-Whirls. I was like, It breaks my heart to see a little boy not having fun on a tilt-a-whirl.
And he was having so much fun.
And yet...
Until he wasn't.
Yeah, I mean, I've been on a tilt-a-whirl, and I don't have glass bones or paper skin, but if I hit the sides of those things, I'm coming out of there bruised as a peach.
Yeah.
But...
I think that scene would work a lot better if the sound of the bones breaking wasn't like the sound of somebody walking on pasta.
I know! What are they doing in the Foley room? Oh, man.
Crunch! Crunch!
Not to laugh right into the mic, but now that you say it, I'm just picturing somebody being like, oh, they only had bow ties left. That's fine. And they're like pouring them on the floor. Oh, my God. Literally.
Yeah, and so after we see that flashback, Mr. Glassy breaks free from his cell that night, and he talks to Kevin, who's Patricia at this time.
And Patricia sits like she's wearing high heels. Did you notice?
I did. Her toes were up.
My ankles were in physical pain. My toes were cramping just watching that. I was like, think of how long. What if they had to do retakes of that scene? I'd have been like, please, no, my ankles.
You know how people have an empathetic yawn, where if they see somebody yawn, they will yawn after seeing it? Do you have empathetic ankles, where if you see somebody high heel pose, you get into that pose?
No, but I am prone. Well, Gage and I both did try doing that pose after that scene. But I am prone to foot cramps. I had one of them this eve, and it hurt really bad.
Not great.
No, they hurt worse than regular cramps, I would say.
Because it's so hard to relax your foot.
Yeah, my feet look like bird toes when it's happening. It's terrifying.
Yeah, so they talk. Mr. Glass wants to meet the Beast. Kevin will ask what the name is, and of course he goes, first name Mr., last name Glass. Like a sprained ankle, I ain't nothing to play with.
Does he or does he not in this film, once he gets his get-up on, does he evoke thoughts of Prince? Yes or no?
I think that's just the color purple.
I don't know. I was getting Prince. He had the little, like, he has the
medallion,
pin, the brooch that says MG on it. Like, it was giving me the artist formerly known as, you know?
I can see that. I wasn't getting it, but now that you say it, I'm picking up vibes.
I was getting this is what it sounds like when doves cry. I was getting everything is purple. I was getting guitars that are shaped like symbols that are our names. I was getting
Minnesota vibes.
Minnesota. I was getting my media law teacher canceling class because Prince had passed and he was overwhelmed with sadness.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway.
So, Mr. Glass returns to his room. He gets lobotomized. He gets caught and lobotomized.
Scary. Okay, also, why was there no trigger warning for him getting a shot? Okay, some of us had to look away immediately. Some of us were very thrown on edge.
Did you want Shyamalan to stop the film, walk on screen, and go, hey, just so you know, he's going to get shot in 2 seconds. If you want to skip it.
Get a shot.
Whatever.
I'm not afraid of, well, I am afraid to see a gunshot in real life, but I am just, I mean, okay, that being said, I am afraid of needles, but I am vaccinated. Get vaccinated, friends.
Woo.
But anyway, I could have used a little TW on that.
Well, TW bad. Too bad.
No.
Yeah, so he gets lobotomized, and he seems like he's brain dead, but then he wakes up, kills his caretaker with a piece of shattered glass.
Iconic. What is the line he says when he slices his throat? He's like,
I was looking for the right piece or something.
No, yeah, because the caretaker comes in and he's like, all your pictures are crooked. And, he says something like, after he slices the guy's throat, he goes, it took a bitch-ass long time.
Yeah.
And throws the, glass back down on the pile of other shards that are from the picture frames.
Uh-huh.
I was like, that was obviously improvised by Mr. Samuel L. Jackson. It probably said it took a long time, and then he just had a bitch-ass
long time. Yeah, it's not, I'm looking at the quote page on IMDb, and they don't have it written out, unfortunately.
Dang.
But I think you're right with that. So yeah, he kills the guy. It takes a bitch-ass long time to get the right piece of glass.
Honestly, that guy sounded like a poop stick anyway. He was telling everybody all of the health supplements they needed. He was probably part of a pyramid scheme.
Yeah, you
Good
need vitamin
riddance.
D. He was saying you need vitamin D. That's kind of true,
I
though.
mean, it is true, but I feel like the next words out of his mouth would have been, "Have you tried this supplement group that I'm selling? I am a girl boss."
Would you like to buy ketones?
No.
And he breaks the machine that's holding Kevin that they can use to flash and have him go to his different personalities to get the ones that he wants. Who knew that the only thing that could defeat the beast is sunshine and cameras? What would he do if he was at like a sporting event? Back when everybody had flash cameras?
Well, I don't think it's that. I think it's how, like, think about it. It's like
It's bright and
a
prolonged.
bunch of bright, yeah, and it's like not a camera flash. It's like, I don't even know what I'm trying to say. It's
The
like,
only thing that can defeat him is an early
floodlights.
2000s rap video.
Literally, yes.
They make their way to a secret room where it becomes the beast, and he looks over. Mr. Glass sees that he's broken, which means he's pure. Anna has to leave the
Okay.
room to calm down.
Not over the beast. The beast doesn't do it for me. I know he's shirtless, but he's too veiny and confusing.
Fair.
It just makes me uncomfortable. It's really just real life James McAvoy, you know? When he's in the movie, I'm like not wowed. I mean, I am wowed by his acting, but I'm not thirsting.
Okay.
You know, that's how good he is at this scene. I can separate
The man
the
from the
artist
performance.
from the art. Yes.
So Mr. Glass is like, the new tallest building in the city is being built. That's where the final fight between you and Bruce Willis,
Yes.
Mr. Not Appearing in the
Nakatomi
Sea,
Plaza.
must be. Yeah. Seriously.
It's all Osaka Tower or something like that.
They make it through the facility, and then he talks to David and says that he's deactivated the water sprinkler, and he tries to get David to escape. And then he goes, "If you don't escape, I'll blow up the chemical factory and kill everybody," which then makes him escape. He breaks down the door, puts on his raincoat, and runs through the facility. And guess what we're building up to? It sounds like a climax, doesn't it?
Yes, it does, Dan. We're also getting to the point. This is where Patricia is the one who's pushing Mr. Glass through, like... May I just say, we are moving through this at quite a clip, and that's because this movie is 2 hours long, but it goes.
It
doesn't
does.
feel like
It
2 hours.
does not feel... It's a quick movie. I liked that about it. No part of it drags.
Yeah.
Maybe
no,
the
I
last
definitely-
4 minutes drag, but that's it.
Yeah, but every other part of it, I feel like moves. We're at a good, steady pace the whole time. Anyway, this is when Patricia decides to dress up as a nurse to push Mr. Glass through the basement. And she's wearing the nurse's gown, but she's also wearing, like, a bandana over her head. And it just makes me laugh, like James McAvoy looks silly with that on.
He looks silly, and Samuel L. Jackson is wearing a hospital gown, underneath which he's wearing, like, a 9-piece purple suit.
He's wearing his Prince outfit, I told you.
I know, but still.
This is what it sounds like when doves cry. Ba, 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 ba.
Don't touch my bones. They're made of glass. I
Yup.
will break down. So they beat up a orderly. They crush him, make him kneel before Mr. Glass, and then beat him to death. And then they wheel him through the hall, beating every security person that comes through.
Well, oh yeah, security, because they don't
Yeah.
beat up those two other orderlies, the two women, because
No.
they call in the notice.
Yeah, they force him into
Okay.
a van. Hostages
I
them.
have a question.
Anna.
Thank you, Dan. Were the nurses and everybody, do you think everyone that was working in that hospital was involved? They said there were other patients and stuff. Do you think that they just, like, took over the one wing, or do you think, like, even that, like, maybe the patients were actors and, like, all of the people who were on site were actors?
Think
And we're
about
all
your
a part of
job.
this?
Do you care what the other people in your job are doing if they're not directly on your team?
Well, technically, I'm the only one on my team. But I don't really care about anybody else in the building,
There you go.
except for the people who make me lunch. I like them.
Yeah, I think that's the same with the nurses and the other people here. They're just doing their job.
So, like, if you're in, like, the children's ward, you're not going to care about what's going on in the scary adult men ward.
Yeah, you turn the corner and, like, the painted walls with, like, cartoon characters and stuff on the wall, it's replaced with just cinder block and blood, and you're like, whoops,
Please, no.
wrong turn.
Hate it here.
Back there, kids.
Yep. We got to go back.
Yeah. So then the sidekicks all approach. Mr. Glass's mother, Bruce
I don't know
Willis's
why.
son, and
I can't
Anya
call them
Taylor-Joy.
sidekicks because
Side pieces?
Mr. That's worse. No. Well, I mean, Hedwig does refer to Casey as his girl. Oh my God. The part when Casey first arrives and she's talking to Kevin and he's Hedwig and Hedwig is blah, blah, blah talking and Casey grabs Gage. That's literally what I'm about to say. Gage just mouthed the line I was going to reference at me when she's talking to Kevin and they're holding hands and then he snaps back to Hedwig and Hedwig goes, and he sees that they're holding hands. He goes, "Do you like Kevin now?" I just died. I died because he thinks that Casey's his girlfriend. He's so cute. Come on. Anyway,
Hedwig's the best written character in this movie.
he is, and I just like to think that if he was a real child, if Hedwig was a real child, he'd probably be a troublemaker. But I think at the heart of it all, he'd be really just sweet and adorable. And I think any teenager that tried to babysit him, he'd think was his girlfriend.
Absolutely. 100%.
So cute.
Yeah, so Mr. Glass is very excited. He sits back in his wheelchair and watches as the fight's about to happen. They start fighting, as they do. Sarah Paulson, she calls him back up to try and get them to stop. And
I mean, yeah.
what else are you going to do? And then Anya Taylor-Joy rushes out, trying to calm Kevin. But she can't because they're
she's
too
got
busy fighting.
Some bad Stockholm syndrome. Let's just put it that way.
I mean, it's only been 3 weeks. She's still in Stockholm. It's Sweden time, babe.
Whoa! There's a really good song by One Direction called Stockholm Syndrome. Go listen to it. Don't judge me. Go listen to it. It's really good.
There's a really good movie about Stockholm Syndrome.
Is it Beauty and the Beast?
Yes.
Are you serious?
I didn't have a punchline for that. I was hoping you would fill something in. I had no idea where I was
did,
going.
Dan.
Thank you.
I did fill it in.
This
You're
is
welcome.
the synergy that you only get from 61 episodes of podcasting together.
They call me the dentist because of how I be filling in.
Ooh, that's good.
Thank you.
They call me the hygienist because I do most of the talking. Welcome back to our
They
dental
call me the-
podcast.
No.
What were you gonna say?
They call me the floss because you only see me every 6 months and I make you bleed. I don't know. I put you in physical pain. Anyway, I'm just kidding. I don't hurt people that we know of.
Yeah, so
Not on purpose, at least.
police come out and they separate the two of them, but they're overpowered. Bruce Willis, he locks them all in a storage container for their own good while the beast kills them and begins to eat them.
Ugh. Oh, God. This is the scene when he's, like, got the guy underneath
Pinned under
his,
the
like,
riot
plexi-
shield, yeah.
Oh, and then, this is the scene where he's got the... He's got blood all over his mouth because he's eating... Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Disgusting. Ugh.
So then Bruce Willis' son is like, you know who caused that train crash that killed your dad? This guy, Mr. Glass. Which...
And Kevin says...
How dare you? And Mr. Glass, he's very excited about this because he realizes he created the villain too. He calls himself a mastermind. He self-flagellates himself.
Mr. Glass has got an ego on him, to say the least.
Really? Are you sure?
Final answer.
And then the beast comes out and he thanks him for making him. But he has to protect Kevin at all costs. So he breaks Mr. Glass's collarbone. And then later...
Not a mood.
punches him in the stomach, which ruptures his internal organs.
I mean, it's very great. We get more of that pasta crunching sound that we love.
Yeah.
More of that spaghetti being cracked directly into a microphone.
Yeah. And then the Beast and Bruce Willis, they fight. They get flown into a water tank, which is, of course, his weakness. They break out of the water tank because it's old and made of cheap plastic that they can crack through.
I'm going to say it right now. I still believe that Bruce Willis needs to lose the poncho, because if his arch enemies know that his biggest weakness is water, he's not getting tangled up in that thing. I would be. I'd be scared for my life. I'd feel like I'm trapped.
Yeah, replace the poncho with a wrestling singlet and we're good.
No.
Bike uniform.
No,
Some
nothing
lycra
tight.
jumpsuit.
Maybe just like a t-shirt and some pants.
80s aerobics gear.
Well, maybe.
2019 Bruce Willis in 80s aerobics gear.
Kind of love that.
I do too, honestly. Yeah, they break out of the water tank, and then the Beast says that they'll finish their fight at the top of the skyscraper and starts running over there. Very theatrically, until he gets stopped by Anya Taylor-Joy. She stops him.
Iconic.
They talk.
She hugs him in a way that I can only describe me hugging Gage, where I hug him and he keeps going, "Release me."
Free me from these chains.
Literally every time we were watching that scene, and every time he said, "Release me," I'd be like, "That's you to me every time I try to get attention." This is why I thirst over James McAvoy and not over you.
So she calms him down. She takes him out from being the Beast. And things seem to be fine until a red light appears in Anya Taylor-Joy's hair. And then
Hate it. I cried
And
immediately.
then James McAvoy's stomach. And then that red light becomes a bullet that gets shot into James McAvoy's stomach.
Is he bleeding, or am I crying and I have brown eyeliner on again? Who's truly to say? Spoiler alert, my brown eyeliner runs red when I have it on.
That was
so.
the missing piece that explains it all.
Yep.
I was like, I hope your brown eyeliner doesn't make your eyes bleed. I'd get a refund.
No, I got it. I got it on a contact one day, and I couldn't get it off, and I had to throw my contacts out because it made me look like I had a disease where my eye was like bright red. And I was like, I literally looked at myself in the mirror and went, "Oh my God, what did I do?" And I was like, "Oh, I drew on my contacts. Better throw that out."
Oh my God. It happened. Yeah. I'm a vampire.
Oh, one could only hope. Just kidding. I like werewolves.
The more cops show up. Joseph tries to get him to help his dad, who's weak. They go over to help him. They drag him to a pothole and start drowning him.
No.
Except they're doing a really poor job of drowning because they keep lifting his head up.
Well, you know, they're keeping him alive till Sarah Paulson can give her speech.
It's like...
And also, you can really tell that Bruce Willis is in control of the drowning in this scene.
Very much so. He can lift... That is a loose wrist holding him down.
Mm-hmm. Oh, just a very gentle grip. Like how I don't know. What do I grab gently? Nothing. I'm kind of...
Like a light
bulb? A bull in a china shop.
Like if you were taking a light bulb down or something, you're not squeezing that bulb. You're just slightly holding it.
Just gentle.
Yeah.
An egg. How one might hold an egg.
You're not just squeezing an egg until it breaks. And
I
dropping the droppings into a pan. I'm really bad at cracking eggs.
Holding the egg straight out of the chicken's cloaca, gently. You're bad at eggs?
I am. I'm not bad enough to say cloaca on a podcast, but I can never...
His mom has it.
She has it tattooed. I thought that's where you were going.
No, she has a dog named Chloe, and last time we were there, I started calling her cloaca.
No, I can't crack eggs on a flat surface. I need an edge of a bowl or something. Because
Yeah,
I go way too hard on a flat surface, and I just totally crack the egg completely, making a mess. But then when I do it on the edge of a bowl, I never can get it right, and I always get a little egg bit in my eggs.
Well, I also always use the side of a bowl, and I usually just grab a good old spoon when that happens and fish out the yolk, or not the yolk, the shell.
Yeah.
There's like a different way to do that, but I can't remember what it is. I saw a hack once. I think you're supposed to use like a bigger piece of shell, but that just sounds like a horrible idea. Like, I feel like then everything would just have shells in it.
Well, speaking of trying to turn this into a metaphor for Sarah Paulson's character, she is kind of like the hand that reaches in to get the little shells out of the egg being the regular world and the shells being superheroes, because she reveals that she's part of a secret society whose job it is to keep the superheroes from really doing anything and being revealed to the public, and they've been doing it for thousands of years.
And we all gasp in unison.
And then Bruce Willis drowns. Wah, wah.
Yeah. I mean, it seems kind of cruel. His son was literally right there. You couldn't have, like, told Joseph to turn away. You just killed him right in front of his son. You could have been a little kinder, but
so
what do I know?
Bruce Willis is now dead. Kevin dies in Anya Taylor-Joy's arm, having grabbed onto the light finally.
Oh, this is right before that happens. That's when Hedwig says something
I
like,
like being 9.
yeah, I like being 9. And I'm like, oh, boo! And also they put a filter or something on, like they edited this scene so that Bruce Willis and James McAvoy, their eyes are just so mesmerizingly bright.
Bruce
Like,
Willis
like-
has really nice eyes all the time.
James McAvoy's literally look like sky blue. Like they're just gorgeous. He really said Billie Eilish ocean eyes. You know what I'm saying?
And then as Mr. Glass is dying, his mom kneels over him, and he says that he's not a mistake, and she says, "No, you were spectacular," and then he dies. Also, all very, I mean, except for Bruce Willis, very sweet deaths.
Yeah, I mean, I think the two characters that needed love the most got it, because Bruce Willis, yeah, in Unbreakable, he had a struggling relationship with his wife, but he still had his son.
Yeah,
who just adored him.
Yes. A different
Whereas-
kind of love.
Yeah, whereas the other two didn't really have a single other person in the world besides the people whose arms they died in.
Yes. So then Sarah Paulson, she's like, cool, success. All the footage is deleted from the cameras. But then she realizes that the whole plot that Mr. Glass had done, he was trying to get seen on as many cameras as possible because he had been streaming to a private server the entire time, which means that they have
He
the
got
footage.
his Twitch account going.
He really did. And then he sends it out to the next of kin, apparently, that they have written out, but their email address is listed.
Yeah, where did he get their email addresses from? Like
His mom's
maybe
makes sense.
Maybe he's like a good hacker, or maybe she like I feel like the three of them go to some sort of group therapy because they're like, I mean, Joseph knew everyone's coffee orders for that final scene, so
That's true.
I think they're family of sorts.
Yeah, and then in the final scene, the 3 survivors are sitting in the train station as they watch the footage populate everybody's phones, revealing the existence of superheroes to the public.
Oh,
And
the one, I'm sorry.
Sarah Paulson screams in the middle of a hallway.
I mean, mood. Me too, girl.
Right.
But that part where Joseph sees somebody watching the scene of Bruce Willis folding the bar so that people can't get out of the oh my god,
The storage container?
the storage the storage unit, and he starts crying. It's just so sad because it's like that's all he had. That's his dad.
His mom's gone. His dad's gone.
And he's like supposed to be like our age, isn't he?
He's like 20, in mid-20s, yeah.
Yeah. I would be devastated.
Me too. Oh, my lord.
I know. And I also had to think about the fact that technically, if you think about how the movies are supposed to line up, he and James McAvoy are supposed to be the same age.
Don't believe that.
I was like, that's false. Wrong.
And that is Glass. That's the end. That wraps up the trilogy.
A very fast-paced movie, like we said.
Yes, I enjoyed that. I liked it. I wanted a quick movie. And one thing I will say about Shyamalan's movies, aside from Unbreakable, they're fast.
You're a sourpuss about Unbreakable.
I'm sorry that I have taste.
Oh! Well,
I don't know if I
mean,
can say that I have
will
taste.
say-
I loved F9.
Oh, I did too. Okay, that's not about taste. That's about family. So
F9 is the Applebee's of film.
classic.
When you're there, you're
I'm not
family.
expecting much. That's Olive Garden, you dumbass.
Yeah, I realized. You're right.
I don't know if Applebee's has a slogan.
Welcome to
anymore.
the neighborhood. Eating good in the neighborhood.
You're right. Something about the neighborhood.
Yeah. Sweater weather by the neighborhood. What did you think? The movie as a whole. And the other two, compared to the other two.
I liked it. I will say I think that it's almost to the advantage of the later two movies that they came out 15 years later because so much about film production has changed and so much about the way we tell stories and things that can be included and things that are acceptable to put into movies has changed. I think that if we had seen Split and Glass come out in the early 2000s like Unbreakable did, they would have been made to play less complex characters than they did because of when these came out.
I mean, to put it in a different frame, Unbreakable came out in the time that Limp Bizkit ruled the world. Glass came out when Billie Eilish ruled the world. There's a difference between the two.
There's a lot more crying when Glass came out.
Are you kidding me? Every time I listen to Break Stuff, it's just one of those days when you don't want to wake up.
I already referenced Billie Eilish once during this
You've hit
this
the quota.
episode, so yeah, we hit our Billie quota.
I liked Glass more than I thought I would. Like everything
Right?
I heard,
It's fun.
It's fun. I liked the ending up to a point. I didn't like the convoluted historical society Batman Begins Legion of Doom Fear whatever thing that they had, Shamrocks.
Yeah.
But
It makes me go ahead, sorry.
I liked the anticlimactic deaths for the heroes, for the main characters.
Really?
I thought that was a very interesting twist that worked well. If they're trying to make a grounded superhero kind of thing, it wouldn't be a dramatic death. He would die from drowning. He would get shot once and be gone.
I mean, yeah, because they're still technically human. I mean, they have powers, but they die very human deaths.
Yeah. I thought
all of them.
I think that worked in the story much better than a dramatic someone falls off the top of a building sort of death.
Yeah, I guess it's just like it makes me so sad.
Yeah.
And I don't know what I thought could have happened because it's very against everything I know logically to be like, oh, Kevin could have been like he and Casey could have found like solace in each other and been really good friends and you know, Bruce Willis could go and protect the town and you know, no offense to full offense to Mr. Glass, maybe good riddance because he was kind of a terrorist. But that's besides the point. But I don't know. I know that there's no room for a happy ending in this movie, in this franchise. It's very dark. But I wish we could have seen some amount of forgiveness more than we did.
Yeah.
But that's just me, like I said. Like, you know, I don't know why I'm even saying this. I love doom and gloom movies. Like, I don't know.
And I don't like doom and gloom movies.
I know. I want to hug everyone at the end of this movie. Like, it just makes me feel so sad for everybody that's lost someone at the end of this movie. So the 3 quote-unquote sidekicks. But at the same time, no offense, they're just normal people at the end. Like, there's nothing they can do except for tell this magical story about 3 people they once knew.
Yeah. I love that. I think that's great. I don't think that the...
Catch me crying.
and as I said, I don't think that the Legion of saving the world from Will Smith and Hancock was necessary in the movie.
Not Hancock.
Some trivia about the movie. Shyamalan, the two of the flashback scenes were shot for Unbreakable and then incorporated into the movie. The whole scene at the amusement park was shot for Unbreakable completely. They didn't film any new footage for that. And then the footage of Bruce Willis like shushing his son or like telling his son more.
That scene.
Yeah.
I think that happened in Unbreakable, didn't it?
He did, but there was more footage that they had put in.
Oh. Catch me crying again.
Shyamalan mortgaged his house to co-finance the movie because he really wanted to make the movie. I didn't think that he would have to after making Split and have Split being such a success. But
I don't know.
Low budget, only
Maybe
20 million.
Yeah, maybe just because there are so many big name actors in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he did not get cheap actors. He got 3 very well known people for his lead. 4 very well known people for his leads.
Yeah,
and one
and one soon to be very well known person.
Are you talking about Anya Taylor-Joy?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because she would bring in a pretty penny these days too.
Absolutely. I guess he saved money by having it set in one location the entire time.
Yeah. I think he's from Philadelphia too,
Yeah.
if I remember correctly.
I think Philly or Pittsburgh. I don't remember which one.
Yeah. So he probably was like, it'll be cheaper if we just shoot this on my front lawn, please, guys.
So the original runtime of the movie was 3.5 hours. Shyamalan cut 3 of
Please.
Kevin's personalities from the movie.
No, wait. I take it back. I want them in.
And James McAvoy based one of the personalities on a young Saoirse Ronan who he was in Atonement with.
Oh. I mean,
know.
2 of them did have Irish accents, and they're twins. I was like, more of that, please.
Samuel L. Jackson is 5 years older than the actress Charlene Woodard, who plays his mother. Mm-hmm. Sarah Paulson accepted the role without reading the script, and her part was written for a man originally.
Yes, I knew that, and I was so glad that it went to her because she killed it, honestly.
Yes.
She's good at that kind of stuff, like that kind of mysterious and serious, like, dark professional. Like, I feel like that's very much her role. I don't know how else to describe it.
Describe yourself in 4 words. Mysterious, serious, dark, professional.
Amen.
That's kind of Shyamalan, too. All his movies.
I don't know. He seems like a big nerd.
He seems really fun. Like, I would want to hang out with him.
Yeah, I just want to talk.
Yeah.
You know, I just want to see what he's like as a person because I told you, every time I see him in his movies, I forget that that's what he looks like, and I expect, like, no offense, a less nerdy looking guy.
I before I knew what he looked like, I always pictured like a goth, like the guy from the IT Crowd, the goth guy in the basement. That's what I expected him to look like.
I can't remember his last name, but that's the actor's name. He's on British Baking Show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I thought he would look like. That's really all the trivia that I have about the movie, which means that I have a question.
I have a trivia.
Okay.
Did you know that as the characters, as the 3 leads believe that they have powers, the more they believe, the brighter the colors become around them?
I didn't.
When they don't believe, things are like dull and dark, but when they believe, things are bright colors.
Oh, it's like Captain Planet. Yeah. Mm-hmm. All you have to do is believe.
All you have to do is take care of your planet. Yeah.
Good trivia.
Which is part of why their eyes get so bright at the end, and like all the colors are just really enhanced, and the filters are up, and blah blah blah.
That sounds like
a lot of
third-year short film plot where it starts out gray, and as they believe more and more, you just up the saturation.
Yeah, literally. Oh my God, me editing my way through college.
Let's just make this brighter and this black and white.
Can I bring the saturation up more? Me editing an Instagram photo.
Would this movie be better, worse, or the same with Jonathan Taylor Thomas as the sun? Not the sun in the sky, but the sun, Bruce Willis's
No,
son.
not the sun in the sky.
Like
I think it would
Teletubbies.
be the same, to be entirely honest with you. Mm-hmm. I think it might be more believable that he and James McAvoy are the same age because they're closer in age in real life.
Yeah, I think they're both in their late 30s.
James McAvoy's 42.
Yeah, late 30s. Very late 30s.
Yup.
He's 3012.
Yep, that's the one. Yeah, he's 42. Anyway, sorry, I just did it. Oh, he has a kid. What? Oh, that kid's cute. Well, I can be a stepmom, I guess. Turn the podcast off, Mom. I don't want you to hear me like this. She knows I've been like this. My mom, when I was little, once told me to focus less on celebrities and focus more on school.
Oh my gosh.
Look how that turned out. I'm still boy crazy as an adult.
Would it be better, worse than the same with Jimmy Stewart as Mr. Glass?
Interesting.
Better. I think it'd be better.
Better than Samuel L. Jackson?
Last name.
No.
First name, Mr. Last name, Glass.
No. I won't allow it.
I do like how over 60 episodes my Jimmy Stewart impression has devolved. It sounds nothing like him.
I can't do when Gage and I first started dating, we were doing that Christmas show that did a spoof of It's a Wonderful Life, right?
Well, your money's in Greg's house, and Greg's money's in David's house, and David's house is in my ass.
Pretty much. They'd all be doing, like, all the other cast members would be doing the Jimmy Stewart voice. And I just didn't join in because I am terrible at voices. So every once in a while I hit him with a, oh, but that's about it. That's where it ends. Full stop.
Can't make full words.
No. I really can't.
And then rank the movies. Sorry, before you do, on a scale of 1 to 5, I don't know what to put as the scale for this.
Thick-thighed James McAvoy's.
Well, you're gonna give that 5, and it's gonna skew the rating.
I'll give his thighs 5.
Okay, but the movie.
The movie a 3.5.
Okay, I agree. I also give it a 3.5.
Because, like you said, it's good, but the ending leaves something to be desired.
Yes.
And it's a box of Kleenex to wipe up my tears.
And then rank the 3.
2, 3, 1.
Same. I agree with you completely. But I have
See?
I have 2 and 3 kind of close to each other. 2's better. Like Split is better than Glass. But I have Unbreakable way down. I just don't like Unbreakable. I don't get it. I don't get the hype.
I mean, mine just sit near each other. Standard separation. Maybe a little bit more separation between Glass and Split. I really like that movie, man. I just do. It's a good one.
It is. It's a good movie. Anything else to add about it?
I'm a little sad that this trilogy is over. I am so glad that I got to share it with you. I'm not going to lie. How sappy and dumb. Ew. I don't know. I like that this trilogy brought a little bit more cerebral discussion than you and I usually do, Dan.
Oh.
I mean, I know sometimes we do have really deep discussion, but I feel like with these 3 movies, not so much with the first one, but definitely with the second 2, there's a lot deeper discussion
deeper,
that is... No.
Deeper.
No. There's a lot more in-depth discussion that can happen.
Yeah.
And that's not like I'm trying to say, oh, let's make this a serious podcast. No, because that's impossible. But I just think that that's something I really enjoyed about this trilogy.
Well, you know what?
Yeah.
If people are really looking forward to more serious, in-depth conversation between us on this podcast, they are going to love next week's episode.
Oh, here we go, Dan. Hype it up. Why are they going to love it, Dan? Why are they going to love it, Dan?
Next week, we're going to be running a classic episode of In Conclusion on the feed. I will be in the midst of packing and moving, so we won't have time to record or watch or anything. So instead, get ready for a brand old episode.
That brand old episode. Oh,
we're talking
classic.
Yeah, In Conclusion, the hits.
Yeah.
We're talking about Troll 2.
Ah, classic.
If you haven't
Classic.
heard it, well, guess what? Next week is your time to hear it. Or to quote the Disney thing, watch it again for the very first time.
Amen. I feel like we once upon a time said we were going to watch bad movies more often, but we just haven't. I feel like Troll 2, it's just kind of become our classic film,
Yeah,
Dan.
9 months ago we said we would do it like interspersed between series, and we have not followed up on that at all.
Well, you know, some promises are better left unkept.
Also, I'm going to plug it again. We have merch, shop.wearecreativeland.com. We just added hats.
Oh, they're so cute.
They're
You
very
and
nice
Tom
hats.
both sent that hat to me individually. Well, Tom sent it in our group chat, but you sent it to me personally, and I was salivating.
Yes.
I'm not going to lie. I might buy myself one.
We also need to send a thank you to Tom Hillmeyer. My business partner is the best way to put it, because he's been designing
true king.
all of the merch. He's been
Thank
doing
you,
all of the
Tom.
work on that.
Thank you, Tom. We love you.
Very much. We love you. Thank you, Tom. Anyway, if you like the podcast and you want to support us, other than buying merch, you can follow us on social media, on Facebook and Twitter @and In Conclusion, on Instagram @InConclusionPodcast. We have a Patreon, patreon.com/InConclusion. And spread the word. Tell your friends about the podcast. That's the best way. Get more people to listen. If you want to find me online, if you what? What, Anna?
If you follow the Instagram, I'll leave you a little treat. It's that picture of James McAvoy walking to set. Wink.
Do
I'm
it.
actually
Do it.
just
Follow the
gonna post
Instagram.
it now.
Please.
I'm going to just
it every
post it
day.
now so it's waiting. Every day. What if I changed? What if we both changed our profile pictures to that picture?
Look, I am so on board with turning it into just a shit posting that picture of James McAvoy account.
I feel like we're gonna get a cease and desist from his agent. They're gonna be like, please stop.
Like how Beyonce tried to get the picture from the Super Bowl taken down.
Wait, what?
It's from like 10 years ago. She looks really derpy in the picture.
Oh,
And her
I think I know
publicist
the
tried
one
to
you're
get the
talking
picture
about.
taken down. Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah, follow us on social media if you want to see pictures of James McAvoy looking fly as fuck. If you want to see pictures of me looking fly as fuck, follow me on Twitter @DanO'Keefe86 or read my blog, dan-o'keefe.com/blog. Anna, where can they find you?
You can find me on Instagram @AutomusPrime818, or you can find me on Twitter @AutobotsRollOut. Capital O for Auto, capital B for Bots, capital R for Roll, and the O in Roll and the O in Out are zeros.
Woo! So, we will be back to the past next week, talking about Troll 2, but in 2 weeks we will be back with a brand new episode. Stay tuned for that. In the meantime, everybody stay safe, have fun, and get vaccinated. Bye-bye.
Bye! That's fine. She's weary. Let her go rest. Let her lay her weary head down on the couch or bed or wherever she is.